Now is the time.
Forever? Tangent. Old.
Halt.
Hashtag always MGM.
You are approaching the unloading area.
Calm down. AK haters.
But what if it
Behold
could?
the majesty of the Sistine ceiling.
For the kids.
A salute to all theme parks, but mostly Walt Disney World.
Ha! What a cute ending.
Aloha and
Don't Dillo it.
This is Theme Park Thursday with Dillos Diz. She is Jen.
Hello.
And I am Frank, and we are here after 4 weeks of Jen's trip report to provide the listener here today in the audio feed with an epilogue to Jen's trip report. And that epilogue is with our guest. We're going to hear about his POV. He's a Dillos Diz Resort guest. He's going to be hanging out with us this weekend at the Sterling Renaissance Festival. Well, we're hanging out with you and Lenny Burrows, apparently. He might get to see me after.
Nah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Over on Lake Ontario. We'll have some fried fish.
Come on. You gotta watch the sunset.
It's Jeffers. Jeffers, welcome back.
Aloha, everyone. And I'll see you next week, I guess, Frank. I'm never quite sure if Jen will make it or not, but...
Yes,
I will definitely see Lenny. I'll see Lenny on a week from Saturday. Or, I guess,
I have
Saturday.
a reservation.
Jen has a reservation, she said.
Good. That's good. It can be canceled. No big deal.
Where we left off talking about Geo82. So go back to last week's episode if you want to hear about Jeffers and Mr. Snidillo's romantic night viewing the fireworks inside Geo82. Not to be confused with Jeffers' romantic dinner at Sebastian's back during the meetup last September of 2024.
Is there a better night that you could have than having dinner at Sebastian's at Caribbean Beach and then taking the Skyliner to Epcot and then heading to Geo 82 for a nightcap?
That's interesting. I mean, having not had Sebastian's yet, maybe there's a better night, but we'll see, I guess.
Jen and I have been offlining about Sebastian's. We're just, we'll have to talk about that at the Sterling Renaissance Festival.
Well, Sebastian's was our arrival day dinner at my July trip. So it's once again, it's a must-do. It's a Jeffers, a trip must-do experience now. I've been 5 or 6 times, and it seemingly gets better each and every time that we go. And I would definitely say that this last time we went was just everything was perfect from, well, basically the food. The food was perfect. It was our arrival day, which was a bit stressful because of the weather, but there was a lot of rain that day, a lot of lightning. So I know we're going to get into some different resort things because it was a split stay, but the Skyliner anxiety is real. When you see that lightning in the sky, we experienced it on our meetup last year, and when you're at Pop and you have a dinner reservation at Caribbean Beach, which is like 10 minutes on the Skyliner or whatever, but it's playing in your head that if the Skyliner's closed, I'm going to need to find a way to get there. How am I going to get there? There are some downsides to the Skyliner. That's all I'll say.
Interesting. Well, first of all, there's two things. I don't know how that's even a sentence. Last year at the September meetup, you explained like the deal of Sebastian. So I'd like you to walk through that for everybody, just to lay it out the way you laid it out for us, because I was never going to eat there, Jeffers, until you explained it that way.
True.
So that's part one. Second part is when we were on the Skyliner last year, we tried to confirm whether they were saying Caribbean or Caribbean. We confirmed it. I don't remember anymore. But at the resort itself, are they saying Caribbean or Caribbean?
I don't remember. I don't. Sebastian's is a family-style service meal, all you care to enjoy, Caribbean flavors, and it's probably the best value, I would say, on Disney property. I'm checking to see if I can see how much it is. $39 per adult, which I think has gone up $4 or $5 since I first went. Anyway, it may have even been $29 back then, but maybe I'm over-exaggerating how cheap it was. But when you compare it to Ohana at $69 for Ohana dinner, and I would say the food quality is better at Sebastian's than Ohana, but essentially it's the same kind of template, right? You get a bread, you get a salad, you get your platter of meats and a bread pudding dessert, and it's half the price of Ohana. And of course the Ohana dinner is not a character dinner, so they can't even lean on that crutch. So yeah, it's been 6 or 7 years since I've been to Ohana, so I can't really compare the food there, but it's everything's fantastic. You have like a chimichurri beef, a barbecued pork, there's a fish. I don't eat fish, but they have it. And then there's like a barbecue chicken, so your kind of meats that are involved, and then a coconut bread pudding type of thing at the end, and salads and bread service at the beginning. So it's a good hearty meal for $39. It's all you can eat, and it's all really, really good. So that's
Yeah, I mean, that price point is crazy, especially considering, like you said, I mean, Ohana is the first thing that popped in my head. But any of these buffet or family style restaurants at this point, whether or not they have character dining, still you're paying for, so it's interesting that although it may have gone up $4 or $5, that they've kind of kept that price point a little bit low. Maybe that's because they're at a moderate, and so they're trying to. But that's a really good deal. Then, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. That could be just be trying to pull people in, right? Like I could see if it was $60 a plate, people, we're not going to go all the way to Caribbean Beach just to spend $60 for some. Right. You can only eat so much. Mm-hmm. We also went to Whispering Canyon on this trip, which is similar kind of skillets all you care to enjoy, and the only reason we went there was really one, I'd always wanted to do it. It sounded like the kind of food that I would enjoy, but this being my one and only probably annual pass holder, we'll see, year, that was one of the restaurants that offered the 40% discount for the trip, and I came out of that one saying that I understand why people like it. It's a fun experience, but if the 40% discount hadn't been applied, then I would not have felt the value was there for that trip. I can look that one up too. These are all things that I should have looked up beforehand, but I think it was closer to $50 per person. So, and I don't know how you justify the price difference between those two.
Yeah. So Lexi is saying that the bread pudding is usually there too because the Ohana chef worked at Sebastian's at some point. Interesting.
Good to know. We'll get into the AP portion of the conversation in a little bit, where two people who refuse to buy APs, that's Jen and I, will try to convince Jeffers at the end of this episode to renew his own AP.
I mean, in fairness, I don't refuse to, we've had APs plenty of times. I don't refuse. I just go, oh, do I want to shell out the big price tag or just torture myself and try to find these $89 deals when I can instead?
Really what it boils down to at this point. Yeah. It's like, well, what do I really need over the course of the 12 months?
See, the key is to buy the first one, because then you get the renewal discount, which is sitting in my inbox right now, and it's $250 off, which makes it, when I priced out potential trip dates for next year and the pending meetup, it really worked out to, I think it was like a 5-day park hopper ticket and a 2-day park hopper ticket in the annual pass. And this is the speech that I'm, getting ready for Mrs. Jeffers, but,
So
why we have to do it.
I've been doing some math.
But for you guys, for sure that you're going to be back over and over again, that you should just do it. And then just get that one time over, and then the renewal discount basically pays for, 4 renewal discounts is like 1 annual pass. Yeah. No?
Sure.
Disney math.
Yeah. I would say at this point, I mean, not that I would have to look at it, right? Disneyland has now thrown me off, I feel like, is like, how will I really plan out trips in the future, considering the planner that I am, which is not a very good one. So the idea of would I try to get to Disneyland in the next, let's say I was thinking of buying one whenever that date starts, let's say it was in November to the following November. is it possible I would try to get to Disneyland, even if it was just part of a California trip during that time? And I feel like that throws my stuff out of whack. I mean, everyone's like, shut up, Frank, about how much you're praising the Disneyland park. It is the 70th anniversary. I'm allowed. But I've been gushing a
Everyone's
lot
saying
about
that, though.
everybody.
We keep getting mail.
Nobody. It's just me in my
Nobody's
head.
saying that.
Everyone's like,
Nobody
Frank,
has
you're
said that.
a little overexcited about Disneyland. Tone back. Dillo the aftermath a little bit, okay?
You're allowed to be excited about the theme park you waited to see for 50 years. It's all right. Just fine.
Fine. I feel validated. All right, Jeffers, you split your stay between Caribbean/Caribbean beach and the Polynesian. No,
that's incorrect.
That's not true?
No, that's a lie.
Jen, set it up, please.
First of all, you already missed what he said. If you were listening to Jeffers, he said that Caribbean Beach was a quick 10-minute Skyliner ride from Pop. Because
I
Did he say that?
You know what? That didn't penetrate into that. Was
You
what
guys
he
are
was
probably just
saying.
talking to each other.
I did. I did hear him say that, but it didn't equate to that is where he was staying. Jeffers, you were doing a split stay.
We did do a split stay. Yeah, we spent when I booked this trip in January-ish. It's a whole long ordeal with flights and date switches and phone calls to Disney because I had pre-purchased Canadian resident discounted tickets for the other 3 members of my family who are not annual pass holders, and then a panic about flight prices, and then I found I was originally going to go in April. April flights kept going up in January, and at one point there was this cheap flights in July, and then I'm looking with my annual pass discount, and I'm like, oh, there's a Polynesian room. Spoiler alert. There's a Polynesian room for under $500 a night, which I've never seen before. Maybe we'll just lock that in for 3 nights and buy these flights. And the Pop's basically the same price as it was, so I had a 4-night Pop reservation with a 3-night Polynesian reservation. Because in my brain, I'm like, well, it's $1,000 less for the flights in July than it is for flights in April right now. So essentially, it's free to stay at the Polynesian. Again, sales pitch to Mrs. Jeffers in January when this was all happening. Now, 2 weeks later, were the flights in April the same price as the flights in July? Yes, they were. But at that point, I had phoned Disney to move my Canadian resident discounted tickets from April to July. Anyway, so that's how we ended up in July. That's a really long story. But yes, we did a split stay. It was originally booked for 4 nights at Pop Century and 3 nights at the Disney's Polynesian Resort. And as the days marched on, I thought back to my December trip with Mrs. Jeffers, where we spent a split stay of 3 nights at the Caribbean Beach Resort. No, excuse me, 4 nights at the Caribbean Beach Resort and 3 nights at Port Orleans French Quarter. And I thought, that 3 nights at Port Orleans French Quarter really went by quickly on the second half of the split stay. So you start doing some math. And you say, what's another couple $100 in the grand scheme of life? And so at some point, I switched it from a 4 Pop, 3 Poly to a 3 Pop, 4 nights at the Polynesian Resort, and I was very happy in the long run that we did that. Could I have been happy with 4 and 4 or 5 and 5? Absolutely, but that's where we ended up, was 3 and 4. But I will say, on a split stay, I would always book my second half of the trip as the longer half, regardless of what resorts you're doing, if you can do it. I mean, maybe on a split stay you'd have a shorter deluxe stay, so maybe you'd want to finish up at a deluxe versus a value resort. But when we did it in December, those 3 days, and the 3 days at Pop went by really, really quick. It's arrival day, and then you got 2 days essentially, and then you're moving resorts. So I really like the split stay, but not that anybody's asking me for my advice, but if you were to do it, 3 and 4.
We're all asking for your advice,
Anyway.
Jeffers. And this was your first time at the Polynesian, Mrs. Jeffers' first time at Pop and Poly? Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct. So Mrs. Jeffers had only stayed at, she'd been at Beach Club, Caribbean Beach, and French Quarter before. So this was 2 new resorts for her.
You see, I was confusing the split stay at the anniversary with
What are you doing?
Caribbean with the split stay. I just conflated the two.
I could totally understand that. It's it's hard to keep all the trips straight. So yeah.
Jeffers, you were man on the scene for the final day of the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer's Island. You were in the Magic Kingdom for that epic event, not to be confused with Epic Universe. Mm-hmm. As what was the vibe? What was the energy that day? Like, who did you talk to about it? Did you engage with a lot of people who were experiencing it for the last time? Like, just I know you were gathering crowds to address your own feelings about it. How did that go?
You had one of those mini TikTok mics.
How much do you pay for your vacation? How much? I took one picture of the riverboat crammed with people, and that was my only experience with the closure that day. I was like, that's the riverboat. You never see that again, kids. Did we go anywhere near getting on it? No. I briefly thought about heading over to Tom Sawyer's Island. I still don't know how to do that, so we did not take the time to figure that out. It was a very, very hot day, but it was a very quiet day in the Magic Kingdom that day. It was like incredibly quiet. I have
people mourning, like just.
Oh.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe, but I have video when we were heading through Fantasyland because Captain Hook and Smee were wandering through Fantasyland, just the two of them with a few smattering people around them, and this was at 9:40 in the morning when it's normally just any other time I've been there, it was it's a sea of people at that point of the day. I've never seen it quiet like that in the morning walking through Fantasyland, and to see a couple of characters just wandering about, it was wild. So I think Jen had mentioned on one of her 7 trip reports just how quiet the park seemed, and I can confirm that as well. And there was a lot of little things going on like that. Characters out and about. When I was on the People Mover, we saw Stitch just walking around Tomorrowland, Tomorrowland. If
the L was out on the sign.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't. You can edit all this out of the podcast, but I don't want to be that guy. Let's see. The Bad show Disney.
Yell.
I have a picture of the Tomorrowland sign when I went over on Wednesday night, and it's tomorrow. The A is out, or sorry, the L is out, and then and is illuminated. So tomorrow and is my. Anyway, back to how quiet it was at the Magic Kingdom. So we did have Lightning Lane, and I tapped into Lightning Lane at Pirates of the Caribbean, and we walked around the corner, and standing up in the corner was a live actor Jack Sparrow, which I just completely stopped me in my tracks. I never thought or seen anything like it's just Johnny Depp. Is this Johnny Depp? Okay. I think it was Johnny Depp, but just a cool experience overall. I don't know if that has something to do with how quiet it was. That they we can pull some people out and actually do some things, but there's little things like that throughout the whole trip that really showed how quiet the parks were, and just how fun it was.
It's interesting though that on the quiet days you're seeing all the characters kind of roam, do it all the time. Do it.
I'm not here to gush about Disneyland.
Oh.
But Troy was in the chat for a little while here because we're recording 2 episodes at the same time. But he just came back from Disneyland. Go listen to the Disney Assembled podcast. But a lot of his pictures that he was dropping in our one-channel Discord associated with DillosDisResort.com were of characters in the wild, basically. And he had Mary Poppins and Bert on the carousel. I'm like, we need these things in our life, and whatever the vibe is in California that is not equating to the vibe that is happening, it is a different ball game with the character. It is old school characters meet and greets out in Disneyland. We need more of it.
Yep.
It's, I've been to the parks a few times now, and I don't generally get all gushy over characters. I'm not a meet and greet guy. I'm not a character huggy guy, really. But that was pretty cool. And then we had one other experience on our final day there where we headed over to Magic Kingdom late after our breakfast, and poor Frank killed me because I didn't yes-and it. But we were walking through Adventureland on the way to cut through to get over to Tiana's, and there was a cast member there, Jungle Cruise cast member, and she's like, "Hey, can you show me the way, or can you tell me where the Jungle Cruise is?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah," and she pulls out a map, and when I go to look at the map and show her on the map where the Jungle Cruise is, there's a big hole where the Jungle Cruise is, and I'm just like, "Oh, me," and I was like, kind of pointed out directions. If you head over this way and you go down the steps over there, you'll find the Jungle Cruise. And then I walked through the little cut through by the Country Bears or whatever there. And I was like, as I was getting into the Tiana's line, I'm like, what would have happened if I said to this person, like, yeah, I'll take you there? Like, what would have happened? Would I got walked onto the ride? Would it have been something extra? Would it have been a magical moment? I'll never know, because I just it's over there. Tiana's is 20 minutes right now. Kid wants to go on Tiana's.
I'm on the clock.
On the clock. But yeah, probably nothing would have happened. But it's just, when as a cast member sought someone out and try to engage them in this kind of role play, whatever you call it, and I feel like I failed. But I think she really knew where the Jungle Cruise was, which is what I think I was probably thinking at the time. You know where the Jungle Cruise is.
She's like, this bit's not working.
I gotta get over to Tiana. I gotta go to Tiana's.
I think we both consider you a Lightning Lane guru. Frank and I have not done really the Lightning Lane. Whatever the Genie Pass was, I don't know what anything is at this point, especially now. There's been changes since the changes, whatever. You, however, have mastered the game of the Lightning Lane and the reservations as well. Was there a Lightning Lane you got this time that you were surprised by? Or do you feel like, because the parks were a little more quiet, Lightning Lane for you personally went a little different on this trip than previous trips?
Lightning Lane went differently for me on this trip in as much as it was very expensive. And I said, we're not going to get Lightning Lane every single day. So we had 5 park days, and we only got Lightning Lane for 3 days. So we front-loaded our... as part of our split stay, I think I kind of planned... I wanted a lot more time at the Poly, so we planned a full resort day at the Poly where we didn't go to the parks at all. And then our last day was basically just a part of a park day. We're barely there at all, except for a little bit of time we were at Epcot in the evening. But... yeah, the Monday, Tuesday of the trip was very heavy Lightning Lane parks, go. And then Thursday, which was the day after our full resort day, was the other Lightning Lane day, which we split between Studios and Magic Kingdom. So there's a lot of stacking involved. But yeah, I think a big change for this trip was just not accepting the price and saying it's too expensive. We're not getting it every day just for the sake of, it's $15, throw it on there, right? But there were days that the Magic Kingdom was $35 per person per day. So we said, and not much cheaper for Studios or Epcot. So we just didn't do it, and we planned I planned most of our park stuff for early in the trip and ran the kids pretty hard, and I think it actually worked out nice, because then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're all just kind of chill, relaxed days where what are we going to do? We'll just do this. And I guess except Thursday, I ran pretty hard as well. But so we got all the Lightning Lanes we wanted. There wasn't anything that's hard to get. I take advantage of a questionably legal service called Standby Skipper that helps search for out of stock Lightning Lanes. It works extremely well. So yeah, getting what you want is never really a problem. Not a paid
I see
advertisement.
Lewis was calling me out for saying Genie Pass instead of Genie Plus, so maybe that can be my own little malaprop here. But, we know what I'm talking about. Lightning Lane, Genie Plus, electric cars. I don't know. It just is, I'll figure it out
Fast
eventually.
pass. I'm here to get mad at Lewis for you all know that the more people are standing in line waiting for characters, there are less of them getting in your way. You mean like because they're not in line for attractions or they're not blocking your area in the park? Because let me tell you something, Lewis.
Oh.
I don't need cues for these characters. You have a character out in the wild.
Yeah.
A group forms around the person. It doesn't go 20 people deep. Then it blocks your path anywhere. It is a group around you, and people decide whether or not they think they can finagle their way into the group.
Yeah.
Now, is the character safety in question if we're talking about Walt Disney World? Probably, but not in Disneyland. But if you have that group of guests around you, and that's it, and then you just walk by. And no, because the queues are detrimental for the character experience. You want to have like the Epcot situation with you can get a lightning lane for that character meet and greet because you can do a walkthrough and the whole thing. Fine, you can have one of those, but this idea of like a singular character has to be in a spot with a queue. Come on, walk around.
Frank's angry because his New York accent's coming out. The singular.
It's 10:00.
Also, does this mean that you might take a picture with a character and another family might also be in your picture? Yeah, but that's fun because now there's social media and you can try to find them, so it's okay.
We've never been that successful with that, though. We've tried.
No, we haven't.
A couple of
we could
times.
try.
The randos in the pictures with us.
Yeah.
I will say, Jen, just as a tangent, Jeffers, I apologize, but Jen last week shared photos of me in some excellent orange shorts from when I was 3 or 4 years old at the Six Gun Territory in Ocala, Florida. I did post these photos to a Six Gun Territory Facebook group.
Oh.
And I got some excellent responses of even the Can girls in the pictures with their names.
We need to see this and we're not joining the group. So here's what you need to do. Do you know how to do a screen record? No, you don't. Ugh, can you screenshot them at least?
You can go look. I only joined under Dillos. I didn't join under myself.
All right, I'll look and then I'll do it so this way we can share it.
Thank you so much.
Anyway, back to Jefferson.
Do you still have
trip.
the shorts?
Oh, do you still have the shorts?
I mean, they could be up in the attic.
They could be up in the attic next to the Star Wars comforter in the cedar closet.
A few
That's
alterations,
possible.
you could bust them out.
Part of Lenny's new costume this year.
Yes, that's right. Is there anything else, Jeffers, you want to point out about the Magic Kingdom before we talk about your trip where you were exactly in line with Jen? I was only gonna talk about Hollywood Studios and Epcot. I didn't even think about asking you about Animal Kingdom, so we could get to that as well.
Oh.
But is there anything else in Magic Kingdom that you'd like to address here?
Not really. I had some notes, but it's a lot of pressure. Jen got 5 episodes to recount her 3 days at the parks. I got 20 minutes. I got 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
Jeffers, you can take as much time as you
not
need. How many episodes do you need for your?
I don't want to run into number 400, that's for sure. But we did start. No, we did not start at Animal Kingdom. At Magic Kingdom was our first day. The kids hadn't been to the parks in nearly 2 years because I'm a terrible father who went.
That's
I think
crazy.
6 times. I think 6 times without them, maybe 5. Which everyone at work and everyone I run into in my personal life I've become the without them. Disney again without them. I'm like, yeah.
Right.
It's a unique set of circumstances, is what I say. It won't happen again.
Beach club trip.
Pardon me?
When was your beach club trip?
That was 2023.
What
So,
is time?
yeah, all of
what?
20, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it did Frank freeze? But oh no, he's just
he's
sitting
there.
there.
I was listening.
But so yeah, I felt it was we should probably take him to Magic Kingdom the first day. But so we did Magic Kingdom and Epcot on the first day because the 14-year-old's favorite ride is Guardians, of course. And that was a very stressful period for me because the last time the then 8-year-old was in, now 10-year-old was in the Guardians queue. She made it to the room with the big bad guy, and she said nope. And out we went through the door and went up to Remy after that, and then back to the beach club because that's where we were. And we kept saying, "You'll love. Just don't worry about it. Well, you'll love the ride. You'll love the ride," because she likes rides, and no motion sickness in our family, which is great. And so there's a lot of talk leading into this trip, and I took the risk of purchasing the individual lightning lanes for Guardians for 3 days for all 4 of us. And if the first time didn't go well, I was going to have some extra lightning lanes to auction off to other people. But she loved it. She made it through. There's a lot of ear covering and head downing for the first time. After she made it through that, she's this is fine. And so that was our first day, Magic Kingdom, Guardians, huge success. Second day we went to Animal Kingdom.
Wait, sorry to interrupt you. I gotta interrupt you. I'm glad that was a huge success, and I'm glad she liked it after that first experience. I have just a question about the ear covering and head down. Was this on the ride or during the pre-show?
During the pre-show. Once she was through the pre-shows, she saw the ride. She was fine with that. She knew what to expect because we'd explained, the launch sequence and things like that. So she wasn't going to be taken by surprise. Very smooth ride. Does go backwards. Explained all that, but she just she went to she's 10 years old. She went to her first movie this year. She went to How to Train Your Dragon. She gets very scared by any type of bad guy media type of thing. So again, when she was 8 and she walked in and saw that guy, and so it was.
No, that makes sense. I got a little nauseous thinking of putting my head down on Guardians, going, oh god, and then I would probably be tossed around. I don't know how that would go. I closed my eyes, but so I was just trying to clarify that.
I think you should try it again. It's so smooth. You wouldn't.
Oh, should I?
Yeah, I think maybe you kept your eyes open too much last time. I think that was probably. If you just close your eyes.
At all. As soon as I was like, "What's happening?" And that was it. Anyway.
Yeah. So then day 2.
If the relief band works for me on this cruise, the next step is Jen using it on Guardians.
Or Jen using it to drive in a car, and then from there, if I can get off a Long Island exit successfully without being like, ooh, I'm a little nauseous from that, then we're good. We're good with Guardians, then I think.
Fine.
So I knew you guys would ask me about this. Day 2 was Animal Kingdom start. Fast forward to the end because everybody want to know when we left. 12:37 is when we paid the bill at Tiffin's. So that was, again, one of those included with the 40% discount. Another restaurant that I could not justify the cost if we did not have the hefty discount because it was a lot of money. I would not go there.
I think that's 8 minutes earlier than Jen, right?
But if he was paying the bill, he wasn't walking out at 12:45.
Well, that was the next stop. So. We didn't do anything after that. So we, between Lightning Lane and individual Lightning Lane, we got through Navi, Flight of Passage, Dinosaur, what do they call it with the animals? The Safari, had a little cool drink break, Everest, Dinosaur, lunch, and home.
No,
Two dinosaur?
Oh yeah, we did Dinosaur, yep. Squeeze it in.
But 2 dinosaurs?
No, just one dinosaur. One.
Remember last September when everyone was like, "We gotta go on Dinosaur for the last time"? We're still experiencing.
I get so confused every time I see people and I'm like, "Oh, it's still open," and then I'm in there and I'm like, "Oh, it's still here. What's happening? I thought it closed like 2 years ago. What's going on?"
Because Jen, you didn't go on it for the last time when you were just there.
I did not.
You could have went without the kids or without.
10-year-old even experienced the dig site. Well, the 14-year-old and I were on Everest. Mrs. Jeffers took the 10-year-old to the dig site, and she did some climbing. So we did it all except the shows and the trails. And
have you done the shows before?
We haven't. I think Mrs. Jeffers and I saw the Nemo show on our honeymoon, but haven't been back since then. Both the kids have seen the Lion King show, and they don't need to see the Lion King show again.
Have you done the Art of Animation experience? Art of Animation, not Art of Animation. It's not the resort. I have a lot of malaprops.
You are.
After
It
10
is after
p.m.
10 o'clock.
We tried on our last trip, but we got out there after the half an hour train ride, and it was full. And I said, never again will I be on that train, because there was like one goat in the like roped off area that you couldn't actually pet, which I thought it was like a whole petting area from the last time I had been out. Cause Mrs. Jeffers and I had been out there before, and I was like, oh, look at all the animals you can touch. But it's a lot of roped off areas, and we didn't make it in because it was full. So it was very disappointing, so I'll never be back. Never again.
Couple of qualifying things here. Jen, you get nauseous driving or when you're a passenger?
I get nauseous as a passenger. I get more nauseous in the back seat.
Right.
Driving, however, certain exits, I now find I have to like keep my eyes a certain way as I'm like making like a big bend to be like, ooh, and I'm just keeping my eyes a certain way before I. That's fine. That's safe, guys. It's fine.
Second point here, I'm going to make myself seem like I'm a cool person who goes to Animal Kingdom all the time.
Sure.
Agreed. Eating at Satuli as any other restaurant there. I have had Satuli, and I enjoy the food the one time I was there.
I have not.
So I had read so many things about the Tiffin's signature burger. Tiffin's signature burger. Tiffin. It was a very, 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 very good hamburger.
Yeah.
But of course, the waitress asked me, she said, well, do you want the prefix? And I said, okay, well, what comes with that? And she's, you get a choice of our non-alcoholic drink. You get the burger. And we'll bring you a dessert you don't get to pick. Like, it's just a standard dessert. I was like, this is the worst prefix meal. For whatever it was, I don't even know what the price was. But, of course, I said yes, because she offered it. And I didn't want to argue with her. So, yeah, that sounds like, well, it was a very stressful dining experience because I was a little worried about the 10-year-old eating here. It's a lot of flavors that I wasn't sure she'd enjoy. So I'm trying to explain to the waitress, I'm like, she'll eat a steak. Like, I don't care about paying the adult meal price. And she thought that we're like, because she said something like, well, you're getting 40% off. And I was like, I know. I don't care. I just want it to be plain. Because I started explaining, like, you know how some restaurants, like, you do, like, a kid's meal, but it's an adult portion, they get charged that. Like, that's fine. I just want it to be plain. And, like, I made it overcomplicated, basically, for this poor waitress.
You taking the blame for her mouthing off to you?
She didn't mouth off. No, that was how I received it. She was very polite. This is how it made me feel, because I felt like I made her job way harder than it had to be. She was lovely. She was perfect.
You asked for a steak.
Cast compliment worthy.
You were just like, can I have a steak? And you're like, I made her job so hard.
Because of the way I was explaining. I went into this story, but, like, I've read on the Facebook that if your kid's picky, that you can get chicken fingers, but it's an adult charge. I don't care about that. Just, she'll eat a steak, but your steak has stuff on it. And she's like, you want a steak with nothing on it? I'm like, I want a steak with nothing on it. That's no problem. That's basically it.
You realize it's 40%. I don't.
Yeah, that's it. She's like, well, it's 40% off. I'm like, I'm not asking for the kid. I think she was thinking I was asking for the
double?
kids. Yeah, exactly.
I will pay double for the steak.
Pretty much.
I'm sorry to put you out. I just.
Yeah. Just charge 2 steaks.
Just bring everybody a steak. I don't care.
Val is sad hearing this limited AK usage / show attendance.
AK's got to do something.
It was really hot. Like, really hot.
Well, of course it was.
One. It's so hot there. It's so hot with the humidity.
It was really
walking
hot.
to that bus stop? Whew.
There was a day I sent a picture to somebody back home that was the real feel of 115, and that's American, of course.
You can't just sell me Pandora at night for me to stay there all day. You can't.
No.
Well, we gave up our deluxe perk of the extended evening hours on Wednesday night to spend the night with the Dillos. We could have gone to the Animal Kingdom until 8 p.m.
I was going to say, what's that, 4?
8 p.m.
Extended hours.
So late. 8 p.m.
I would like to apologize. I didn't realize this, and if I feel bad that I stopped you guys from going to extended hours at AK. And also, I would like to ask, was it only one night of your entire trip that you could have done this?
That is correct.
AK, why are you not offering extended hours more than one night in a 7-night trip?
Well, the extended evening hours for deluxe guests are normally offered between Epcot and the Magic Kingdom. But for some strange reason, for this very short period of time in July to, I think, right about now, they swapped. And they do it when the parties are on, like for when the Not So Scary's on and the Very Merry Christmas parties are on. Mm-hmm. They swap that Magic Kingdom night usually to Animal Kingdom to be that deluxe perk, which again is 8 p.m. 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Johnny, how many people took us up on that extended hours that Animal Kingdom offer?
Nobody.
It's not dark at 8 p.m., so there's no... in July.
Yeah.
We went in... The park itself was open, I think, till 9 p.m. when we were there in December. Wasn't, because we weren't in a deluxe resort, it wasn't a special night, or maybe it was open till 8, whatever, it doesn't matter. But, so we got to see the lights when Mrs. Jeffers and I were there on our anniversary trip, which was very cool. But there's no ability to do that in July, because 8 o'clock, the sun is still high in the sky. But yeah, thanks for ruining our night. That's great. Thanks, shit. No big deal.
My apologies.
See, the original... The other factor of why I moved my third date, or date to be 4 days at the Poly for the deluxe resort, was I assumed right up until the time they changed it that Wednesday night was going to be a Magic Kingdom extended evening hours until I think it's 11 o'clock at night, or it might be 1 o'clock, I don't know, but I think it's 11. No, maybe it's 1, and it doesn't matter. It's late. And I was like, okay, that's cool. You know, we'll be the only ones because we're deluxe resort. We're super cool. And but of course they switched that. Like, I think we found that out in May or June that they were switching that for July. And I was very disappointed. At that point, I was able to book this night Dillos in for dinner. So.
Yeah, I am just
I was able to
ruining
fit them
your
in.
trip left and right.
Yeah, trip ruiner.
Yeah, in the chat, I think they're mocking us when they put this in all caps, but it says, it is glorious during those hours at Animal Kingdom.
Do they mean the after hours parties during those hours?
It is glorious. The park, what? It is glorious. What?
It is glorious during those hours. Is it the after hours or what hours of the day is it glorious? All hours, of course.
From 1 p.m. until, because we leave at 12:45. So are you saying from 1 until 6, 1 until 8? What? You gotta elaborate on that, because if it's that humid, it's just humid in the Animal Kingdom. That doesn't go away.
Is it glorious because the crowds are smaller during those hours?
I mean,
I'm just hating the delay.
He hates the Riverside delay.
I'm not going to feed into the AK hating stuff, but the extended
Who hates it?
Nobody's hating. We don't hate it. We are fine.
But the deluxe evening resort doesn't include the safari because the animals are in bed. Doesn't include the walking trails because the animals are in bed. The shows I don't believe run because the animals are in bed.
Contract time. They only get you.
So essentially, the extended evening hours is Flight of Passage, Navi River Journey, Expedition Everest, Cali River Rapids, and Dinosaur. I think that's it.
That's an interesting point. Frank, you're saying the shows are because of the contracts.
Yeah.
I always think about that at studios too, with the Frozen show. I'm like, oh man, I wish the last show wasn't at 5 o'clock or whatever it is. And I was like, I wish they kind of went later on into the night. But that's interesting about the contracts.
That's the contract. That's why the time.
Yeah.
So because we were back so early in the afternoon, we had a nice pool afternoon at Pop, and then we headed to Hollywood Studios on the Skyliner. Because we were at Pop, just from our previous experiences there in the morning, that lineup, my fear was I was going to walk these kids over to the Skyliner at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they were going to see this line that extended down to, I don't even know where it goes, and they were going to freak out. So I planned both of my mornings at non-Skyliner resorts, so that we come back to our afternoon break, and then when the Skyliner's completely empty in the afternoon, Skyliner over to Epcot, Skyliner over to Hollywood Studios. So we did the Animal Kingdom in the morning, went over to Hollywood Studios. It was a bit of a mess that night at Studios because Slinky was down, Star Tours was down for a good period of time, Rock and Roller Coaster was down for a good period of time. So we got a few things done. Star Tours finally came back up. We got Slinky, Mickey Minnie's... we did not get Slinky done that night, but we got Mickey Minnie's done. I got Tower of Terror with the 14-year-old done. Baseline Tap House, charcuterie board, beer flight, lemonade. What else did we do that night? And then we had resort pizza. I'm trying to figure out where we ate that night, but yeah, we had resort pizza when we got back. I tried to click off all the little check boxes of things to do, what do you got to do when you're at your resort? You got to have a resort pizza. Kids had never had resort pizza, so we ordered a resort.
And you got
pizza.
to order it from the Skyliner.
I did order it from Skyliner. That's right. I did order it from Skyliner. So you walk up and bam, it's ready. And I'll say that the renovation that we so painfully suffered through during our meetup trip really paid off. It's beautiful in there now. And they've got this huge mobile order pickup, IKEA box shelf situation that's 5 boxes across and 6 or 7 boxes long and all numbered, and you just they slide your order into that. And it's much nicer than some of the in-park stuff where you're kind of fighting at a window with other people for your mobile order pickup. The pop and now I never used the mobile order at the one. We're going to the Polynesian. I'd love to stay at the Polynesian again. It's by far been my favorite resort stay of all time. The one area of improvement that the Disney's Polynesian Resort could be is do something with Captain Cook's. It needs to be extended, expanded, whatever the price. Knock out the wall to Trader Sam's, and no, I'm just kidding. But their mobile order whole setup there it's awful.
Tight in there too.
The whole place is tight. Their drink vending machines were on their last legs, it seemed. So that's the only, I'm not gonna just. It's not all glowing things with the Polynesian. That's the one thing. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Everything else is good.
Can we talk a bit about the Polynesian and your experience? I would like to know if it's your favorite by far, which you're saying it is. Why? Why is it your favorite? What were the things that really stood out to you?
Said it was my favorite resort stay. Not my favorite resort. I still French Quarter still has my heart. French Quarter still has my heart.
Okay. I'm gonna need an explanation on all of it.
It's just a feeling, but we really took advantage of our time at the Polynesian. We spent a whole resort day there where I was the crazy person who rope dropped the pool. I was pool opens at 10. I was in line at 9:37 for the pool. There were 3 other people ahead of me, so I'm not the crazy one. So there are people crazier than me. Nice. Got my nice little table with the umbrella set up for the day that we stayed till about 2:30 in the afternoon. And again, another checkbox thing was the Deluxe Resort, they'll take your order at the table and they'll bring you your food. So I had to do that, and so they brought us out our food and we ate lunch at Disney's Polynesian Resort by the lava pool. The lava pool? Or did they rename it? It's the pool, anyway. The main pool, the big pool. And pool was great. I did the water slide one time just to do it so I can compare it to Stormalong Bay. I think it's a better water slide than Stormalong Bay, but that's just my opinion. Pool's a little small.
Yes.
Pool's a little small.
The footprint over there has I mean I know it's been renovated over the years, but even going back, the footprint has always been peculiar.
But the vibe of sitting out there when you're comparing it to Pop Century or you're comparing it to the Beach Club, and you've got that South Pacific music, I could literally, I'm not a pool guy. If I ever swam in my life, I don't care. But I could sit there in the Florida sun by the pool and take a dip every now and then to cool off and get back in and enjoy a drink and have my lunch listen to this music. Like, if that was heaven, like I died and that's what heaven was like that's pretty good. And just, you're sitting out there, you're sitting in your chair, looking straight out across at Cinderella Castle. And so that was the one main day. But the other 2 days we spent significant time at the pool. We actually spent at the Cove pool, the quiet pool, and beautiful pool. And the 14-year-old and I became very big fans of the hammocks. We spent a good couple hours a day in the hammocks. And
Nice.
like I'm lying there in the hammock again with this music in the background, looking out over the lake, and like literally like the monorails are whooshing by, and there's the of the sorry for the sound effect there, of the ferry boat, and you got again Cinderella Castle and not the Polynesian Tower. The Grand Floridian is off just off to the side, and like it's like this out of body experience of like, everything I'd read about staying at the Polynesian Resort, like all seemed to come to fruition. We spent one morning where when the kids were sleeping, Miss Jefferson and I got up early and went to the little Kona Cafe coffee spot, and still in our pajamas, and got coffee and just got on the monorail for a full loop of the monorail. Then we sat on the second floor just outside of Tambu Lounge, just looking out again over this, like, you can't beat the view. And like just the whole it's just such a relaxing spot to be in at certain times of the day. There are busy times of the day, but that's when you escape to the pool, and like all the other people are just out there waiting at the pool. But like we took so much time and spent it at the resort, which was important to me if we're gonna spend all this money. But like if you're gonna pay for a deluxe resort, like you're not gonna. A lot of people say deluxe resorts aren't worth it because I'm, I only use the bed to sleep in, and I'm at the parks all day. And so if you're gonna stay in a deluxe resort, I think you have to take advantage of it. The only thing I would have changed about our stay at the Polynesian was the one night we booked our dinner reservation at Whispering Canyon, which in my brain was like, well, it's a quick monorail ride over and then a quick boat over. There's nothing quick about getting to there's nothing quick about getting to the Wilderness Lodge from the Polynesian. So I would have had that as Wailulu or even Donohana dinner that night instead of going off, or even gone to Steakhouse 71. I would have stayed more contained to that area. But once we went to Whispering Canyon, it's just like, it's a hike to get there and back. So, and again, different if you have a car, right? Like you guys have a car, usually a different experience, right, than zipping over in your car probably. But it's I don't know that I'll ever be back just because of financial reasons. But like the last night we were there, like we watched Happily Ever After 3 nights from the from different spots. One night just kind of on the marina barrier, I don't know what you'd call it, railing. Because I had to check off, we got to watch the fireworks from the pool, and so I'm like, got my watch, I'm like, it's 9:59, we're in the pool. 10:01, like, no, Happily Ever After it's 10:20, no Happily Ever After. Okay, Happily Ever After is canceled tonight, is what in my brain was happening. Up to the room we went. Literally, I'm changing in the restroom, bathroom, whatever you Americans call it. And
with the shoes on inside.
It's like, no! And so we ran down and watched. That's when we watched from the marina balcony, whatever you want to call it. Or not balcony, railing. And another night we watched from the beach, and then the final night we were there, because my one child is a strong-willed individual who wants to do her own thing. One watched from the Cove pool with Mrs. Jeffers. The other watched from the main pool. And I have this wonderful picture of the 14-year-old eldest daughter with like the fireworks going off in the sky. She's just in the pool looking up, and it's like this is everything that like could be good about coming to Walt Disney World is happening in this moment. And just, it was amazing. Like, I want to go
It's the
back.
power of the poly.
It's the power of the poly. The poly, I was so worried, it's the Dillo your expectations. I was so worried that I had put this place on a pedestal and that it couldn't, live up to its hype, and it lived up to its hype. So, good job, Polynesian.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's about it.
And I agree with the vacation-y vibe over there. Like, when we stayed there in 2022, especially, like, we had stayed when the kids were babies, but to stay there when they were, like, a little bit bigger and could play in that little kid area of the slides and the little jungle gym type thing. I'm like, this, we could just sit here, and this is where we are. Like, it just felt more relaxed and... But I mean, the Polynesian has always, for Dillos, felt like you walk into there, you're like, all right, yeah, I'm good. Everything is fine in the world.
So that Wednesday, there was the resort day, which was, I believe, this might have been my memory playing tricks on me, but I believe that was the pajama monorail day as well. Maybe not. I think it must have been. Because Tuesday we would have been at Pop in the morning. Wednesday it's our first full day. Thursday we were off to studios, so I'm pretty sure the monorail day must have been Wednesday. So that was we got up, monorail loop with our coffee, full pool day with the nice little lunch at the pool, out at 2:30, dinner with the Snidillos, Dole Whip with the Snidillos, happily ever after. This is probably my favorite Walt Disney World day, ever, and it's pretty good. So.
Pretty good. Sort of a side tangent. Lewis is asking, what do you call it? Bathrooms are in our homes. Restrooms are not in homes. Jeffers?
I think I would say washroom. Washroom.
A washroom.
Ah.
Oh.
Washroom is
Washroom.
that's the password.
That's we should. This would have been the perfect moment to do the match game.
It's not a bathroom or a wet restroom.
Before we go, I have two questions. So the first one is, you touched on some drinks and some flights and things you've had. Again, talking about GO82. When I was talking to Mrs. Dillo recently about GO82, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going there. I mean, I'm probably gonna have to go there for the Epcot vibes. I'm gonna have to do it. But the price point of the drinks compared to Oga's, I'm still going to Oga's because I like the Oga's vibe, obviously. But I do like a couple of the drinks there, and then other places similar. Am I going to the? I just lost the name of it.
Is it worth it? Is that what you're getting at? Is it worth it?
Yeah, I'm getting. Is it worth it?
Is the price worth it? I think it's worth it.
Compared to other places,
I think. You get a pretty standard pre-mixed juicy cocktail for $18 everywhere on property. It's $18.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's $10 more at GO82, but the best I get, I wish I had the pictures and I could show you, but my clarified New York sour, whatever it is, had this thin layer of red something on the top, and explained to me what it was at the time. I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. But you could tell that it was a quality made, a real bartender made this. This wasn't them reaching under the refrigerator at Oga's and pouring in and then throwing in a dry ice or whatever. We went to Oga's as well. Had Oga's Obsession and whatever the flatbread is called. Both very eatable, but yeah, it's it's hard to put a value on anything, right? Is it worth $27 for these drinks? It's hard to look at someone and say yes, that's a $27 drink, but it's what it costs. And if you, if you're comparing it to a $17 thing that they're we were at Food and Wine in December. I got a little shot glass slushy that was $12, and am I happier to pay $27 for this professionally made drink or 12? I'll take that one. I'm just not going to have 4 of them. So.
Right.
I would highly recommend everybody go to it at least once.
Yeah. And you have the imprinted ice, always a plus. You get a little lavender towel upon arrival.
Well, and I
You
think
get
what
Ash.
what after Jen and I did the Epcot episode of her trip report is that how the Epcot vibes are slow. Like we're overlooking really how the Epcot vibes are sneaking back into the park, and
Yeah.
pricey drinks or not, at least it's acknowledging this history too. So just like I wanted to go to the mission space. The Space 220 last September. It's like, no, I want to go for the Epcot vibes. So same idea. The real question for that number one there, Jeffers, for you really was, can I have a steak with nothing on it?
You can have a steak with it, yeah, absolutely. But the one thing I would say about GO82 is I would make it its own thing. Like you're going out for a nice, like almost like I'm going back to the room, I'm freshening up, and then I'm coming back to GO82. I felt, again, maybe it's just me, but I felt like maybe it was everything that leaded up into it, rushing from Japan to try to get down to Guardians to try to make a reservation on time. But like when I got there, I felt sweaty and gross, and like it's a classy place that I felt somewhat out of place in the moment. Just all in my own brain, nothing that anyone did or said or made, like the servers obviously didn't make us feel that way, like, oh, what are you guys doing here? But in my brain they did. But
people used to worry about that in the World Showcase restaurants there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're gonna
dress nice.
Dress nice. Not anymore.
Yeah, so I think like for your own personal experience, like to make it just that level up, I think like we're going to GO82 tonight, so we got to go back to the room and get all tidied up and we'll make a night out of it. And I don't know, you want to feel a certain way if you're spending $27 for a drink, I guess. I think that's what it is.
Then Lewis is asking quickly, for GO82, do you feel like you could feel disappointed in the view?
I mean, everybody's got a different, like
Everybody's got opinions.
Well, no, you know what I mean, right? Like people go into, have a natural tendency based on their own personality of like an expectation, like dilloing aside, right? Like some people will just see a price of something and say, well, it's got to meet this certain level or I'm going to be, or you can go into it like, I'm going to enjoy this. And maybe it was the company and maybe it was the experience with the wait staff that I didn't even think about the cost of anything because it was such a good time that, it's, I guess if the servers were indifferent and you were, feel like I was saying at Ohana where you feel like you're being pushed through, would I have walked out of that place and gone, ooh, that, if they'd said, no, your 45 minutes are up, skedaddle, would I, walked out and going, I don't need to go back there again. But now I'm, it was such a good experience and the service was so high. I kind of think of like Troy telling us about his experiences at the D20, is it D23? What is the Disney Institute? And like just the way they treated the people going there. I'm like, this is what Disney is capable of, right? And it's really disappointing when you don't have that everywhere you go. And I guess when you're paying what you're paying at GO82, it's fair to expect that level of service. And when it came through, I think it just... So could you be disappointed? I think some people could walk in and go, the servers had an off night, and it's crazy expensive, and we didn't get to see the fireworks. And so to answer Lewis's question, I think, yes, you could. But
Yeah, I think he was comparing it to like Space 220 when, there are certain tables in Space 220 where you have great views of what's going on. In comparison.
Well, so it's...
You think there's a bad seat in the house?
I don't think so, because if I remember correctly, it was like similar to Space 220 in that it's layered, right? Like there's a step down. Now we had seats probably to the far end, like there's nobody beside us. So we were at the very end, which you'd think in a place like that you'd want to be in the middle, but I would say that we had just as good a seats as anybody else. So, and I assume that because you're up, you'd be looking over, and the windows were super high, so I don't think and fireworks are in the sky, so I don't think there's a bad spot. Like if you compare it to, I haven't been in the what's the one called at Magic Kingdom, where you sit, the
Royal Table or
there's a fireworks dessert party. I'm just trying to think of the little area that near the purple wall there. What's that called?
Yes. It's a place we never know the name of,
perfect.
but I know exactly
so
what you're
there's
talking
a
about.
seating area, and I've heard that like if you've got the railing seat, you're great. But because it's all flat, if you're at the back, like you've spent $139, $149 on this dessert party, and you're looking at the back of people's heads. Where at GO82, you're raised up, and it's tiered, I guess is the word. So I don't think there'd be a bad seat in the entire place. So. That being said, if you're getting the $189, I think we got one of the $189 seats, and we did per person, and we didn't have to pay that, which is always nice.
Yeah.
Second and final question. At the Sterling Renaissance Festival, you will get to meet Mrs. Dillo, Jeffers. Is there anything you need to know? How are you feeling?
I don't know. Is there anything I need to know? I'm feeling... I wasn't prepared for the anxiety that Ash was going to cause me with her personality. I'm somewhat prepared for Mrs. Dillo that, I have an idea of what she may be like. My guard is not my guard, but my preparation is more up. I think I'm working on some things to say. I showed up at GO82 just wanting to sit down and have a drink, whereas walking into the Sterling Renaissance Festival, I can go into the game plan. I can go into the game plan. And I can hide behind Mr. Snidillo, I believe, which is what I did at GO82. So if we look at it that way, Ash was actually preparation for Mrs. Dillo, excuse me.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
All right. Well, that will...
That's if they show up.
Officially, well, there's always a chance.
Which will be fine, because it went fine last year.
It
went fine last year without them. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Everything's
no big
great.
deal.
It's great. It was fine.
It's fine.
Well, that will wrap things up here officially for Jen's Trip Report. This was the epilogue.
When's my next episode?
Jeffers Trip Report.
When's my next episode?
Well, because I know where you're going right after the Sterling Renaissance Festival. You might be in the early 400s, Jeffers.
You'll be back.
You'll be back.
Soon you'll see.
There's I shouldn't say this out loud, but the kids were doing their own dance to "You'll Be Back" from Hamilton yesterday, and I didn't realize that those were the moves associated with "You'll Be Back" and the da-da.
No, they have created their own moves.
There's a whole little. Maybe Jeffers, we can talk about it.
Oh, you'll see it at the Renaissance Festival. Yeah.
Thanks for hanging with us here. We were recording 2 episodes back to back while we all got a little punchy here at the end. But we will have another guest lined up for the next episode of Theme Park Thursday with Dillos Diz. It's not you, Jeffers. 2 steps back. Until next time, he's Jeffers.
Aloha.
She's Jen. I'm Frank. Bye-bye.
Deuces. The Dillos Diz podcast is hosted by Frank Cardillo and Jen Cardillo Snyder. Music produced by Matt Harvey. Logos and video production courtesy of Snidillo Studios. Dillos Diz Resort is our Patreon with tiers starting as low as $1 per month. You can visit DillosDizResort.com to learn more. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X Twitter, and Facebook at Dillos Diz. Check us out on YouTube by visiting youtube.com/DillosDiz. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there. We also have merch available on TeePublic and Etsy. For all this and more, visit our one-stop shop, DillosDiz.com. Dillos Diz Podcast 2025.